No, that's bullcrap. That's partisan, political. That is not saving children's lives.
If one of that 4%, I think you'd be singing a different tune.
Yeah, but my kid isn't, so I'm not.
Lucky you.
Yeah,
but there are families right now that are grieving because their kids were part of that.
I'll go to bed tonight and thank God on my knees that don't exist anymore, that my child is still alive, and any Democrat politician that says I'm wrong for that anyone's wrong for praying.
Right now, it feels like everyone is buzzing about the latest explosive exchange on Fox News. The kind of moment that makes you question where American political discourse is headed. Let's break down what really went down when sparks flew during a fiery debate between Jessica Tarlov and Greg Gutfeld. The clash centered on hot-button issues like partisan politics, gun control, and the government's role in tackling crime across the country. Just picture it. One moment, Jessica Tarlov is laying out her argument, and the next, tensions escalate as her remarks collide with Greg Gutfeld's sharp and heated rebuttals.
Let's say that a Democrat was deploying yes, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
So then you're a bad constitutionalist.
Oh,
Let's say that a Democrat was deploying the National Guard to cities controlled by Republicans. Let's say that a Democratic president was shaking down private businesses and saying, give me 10% of intel. And maybe I'll make things more favorable
That's
for
not
you.
shaking down.
Yes, it is.
Let's say that he made you comment. You're bias to every one of these things, and
I am just giving you exactly what Donald Trump is doing, but in the form of Barack Obama on the 11th anniversary of Tansuket, I might add. Let's say a Democratic president said, "I would like to control what goes in our museums. I would like to control American life on campuses."
We could play this dystopian universe forever, but it's now 5:27.
He didn't. They're saying, sorry, we have to go. But you know that if a Democratic president was doing any of these things,
you can't read my mind.
You would be outraged. I do. I know you well enough.
No, you can't read my mind.
Yes, I know you very well.
Typical chick.
This wasn't just a casual disagreement, it was the kind of confrontation that highlights just how divided the U.S. political landscape has become. Tensions escalated to the point where Jessica Tarlov was unexpectedly escorted offset by Fox producers, something you don't see every day. Calling this debate a television storm would be an understatement. It left viewers questioning not only the tone of political discourse, but also what moments like this mean for the future of journalism itself. If you want to stay on top of stories like this and explore the controversies shaping our world, make sure to subscribe. Your support keeps these stories coming and ensures you never miss a beat. Thanks for riding along with me. Let's dive into this step by step. Jessica Tarlov and Greg Gutfeld, two of Fox News' most outspoken voices, are known for their bold opinions and sharp exchanges, but this clash was anything but ordinary. It symbolized the growing polarization in America's political and cultural conversation. The spark, a heated discussion on crime rates and gun control that quickly spiraled into one of the most talked about debates in recent memory.
From gun violence. More than half of those were handguns. Let's see, 20 a year die in D.C. Most of those handguns since 1999, let's go back to 1999 because that's Columbine. So just over the last 25 years, that means 250 children died in D.C. from gun violence, mostly handguns. In that same period of time, less than 210 children died in what we would call a mass shooting, and not all of those were from an AR. Why do I bring this up? It's not in some major defense of AR. It's to say the Democrats are absolutely 100% not at all concerned with saving the lives of children. Because if you are, you're going to President Trump right now and saying, God, please bring the National Guard to Chicago. 183 kids a year die from gun violence, most of them handguns. And just because of D.C. versus Heller and the Brune rule, handguns are the most constitutionally protected gun out there. What's that mean? It means Democrats can't go after them. They've tried to, it failed. The Supreme Court said, nope, you have the right to carry them. So now they're going to go after 5% of guns, used in 4% of homicides at best, because that's the political win. But the actual win, the saving children's lives, is what Trump's doing in D.C. right now. The actual win, the saving children's lives, is mandating fortification of our most precious individuals in this country. What's the average salary of a police officer? What, $50,000? Not even that in most rural places. We can't pony up to put an RSO at every school to make sure every school has an armed guard out front of it. No, that makes our gun feel like prisons. Okay, well, you know what? You don't like the National Guard picking up trash in D.C. You'd rather it look like a wasteland with people crapping their pants right in front of the Capitol. If we're looking at optics here, I would like to not walk past the drug-using trash I walk past to get to my hotel. I wouldn't mind an armed guard. I've got respect for them.
Jessica Tarlov, known for her liberal stance, opened the debate by challenging the effectiveness of Republican-led policies on crime prevention. She argued that simply increasing armed presence without addressing deeper socioeconomic factors misses the real issue. To her, crime is a broad, systemic problem that requires a comprehensive strategy rather than quick, reactionary fixes. At first glance, that might sound like a logical perspective. Tackling root causes makes sense, but Greg Gutfeld wasn't buying it. With his trademark fiery style, he shot back, dismissing Tarlov's ideas as unrealistic and overly idealistic. Gutfeld argued that what America needs right now are strong, immediate measures to maintain order, stressing the responsibility of law-abiding citizens to defend themselves and their communities. That's when the sparks really began to fly. Both sides dug in, each passionately convinced their approach was the key to keeping America safe. Things escalated further when Tarlov shifted the focus to what she called the mishandling of gun control laws, pointing to conservative resistance against stricter regulations. Gutfeld fired back with what many described as classic deflection, claiming Democrats have long used gun control as a political pawn. Instead, he insisted the conversation should center on mental health and criminal recidivism. But Tarlov wasn't backing down. She pushed harder, criticizing the reliance on militarized responses and calling out Gutfeld's defense of Trump-era policies, which she argued only deepened national divides instead of uniting the country.
You want to save children's lives? Pay attention to what President Trump's doing. Pay attention to this narrative about closing the border. Pay attention to this narrative about fortifying the places like schools that matter, because 5% of guns used in 4% of homicides, banning those, no, that's bullcrap. That's partisan, political. That is not saving children's lives. If one of
that 4%, I think you'd be singing a different tune.
Yeah, but my kid isn't, so I'm not.
Lucky you.
Yeah,
but there are families right now that are grieving because their kids were part of it.
I'll go to bed tonight and thank God on my knees that don't exist anymore, that my child is still alive, and any Democrat politician that says I'm wrong for that anyone's wrong for praying, God help you.
Well, now you play the leg card, and I can.
The debate reached a boiling point when a visibly frustrated Greg Gutfeld threw out a controversial remark, dismissing Jessica Tarlov's argument as typical. Now, you might be wondering, why would a single word cause such an uproar? In this context, typical wasn't just casual commentary. It carried the sting of belittlement, suggesting that Tarlov's points lacked depth or originality. On national television, such a jab can feel dismissive and cutting, which helps explain why her reaction was so immediate and charged. That moment sparked outrage not only on set but also among viewers at home. From there, the discussion devolved into something bigger than a simple exchange of ideas. It became a full-on clash of worldviews, with each participant standing firm in their ideological corner. And just when you thought it couldn't get more heated, Fox News personality Joey Jones jumped in, and his intervention only fanned the flames. Jones attempted to pivot the debate toward practical solutions, advocating for bold steps, like deploying National Guard troops in high-crime areas. His comments, which seemed to temporarily align him with Gutfeld, didn't sit well with Tarlov. The implication was clear: if Democrats truly want to address crime, they may need to embrace drastic, militarized measures. Tarlov pushed back hard, warning that such tactics could erode democratic values and arguing that systemic reform, not quick fixes, is the only way forward. What made this exchange even more compelling was how it showcased Gutfeld's consistent push for personal responsibility over government intervention. He framed this as both a matter of immediate safety and constitutional integrity, a message that strongly resonates with Fox's core audience. It was a defining moment in the debate. And here's where things took an even more dramatic turn. Producers stepped in, something that almost never happens during a live broadcast. Tarlov's visible frustration and disbelief made her eventual exit from the set more than just a reaction to a heated exchange. It became symbolic of the deep ideological rift that defines today's American political discourse.
They didn't have those guns if you treated transgender identity problems as mental health problems, which is exactly what it is. I'm sorry. You want me to prove I'm not evil to own a gun, but I'm a bigot because I want you to prove you're not crazy because you want to change your identity. Those two things don't line up for you. I don't get that. 5%, 20 million AR style guns in this country 20 million of 400 million guns in this country. Only 4% of guns used in homicide are rifles, and that's a much bigger category than AR. So what you're saying is you want me to ban 5% of the guns in this country that are used in 4% of the homicides, and that's going to save our kids? No. Is it going to stop incidents like this? Probably not, because they're already out there. Is it going to stop Democrats from using incidents like this to find some linchpin to raise money and create fear and maybe win an election? No, they're not going to stop either, because they still say that we want to prevent gay people from getting married, and that's been buried for a long time. What it's going to do is it's going to stop people from, like me, from going and buying a gun from someone I know to be law-abiding, to use to hunt with or protect my house, or you know what, to relieve stress with, because it's been a long day and I want to go shoot a target. That's my right. That's the right of 350 million Americans. It's protected in the Constitution. If you want to take a flip side of this, you said that the National Guard for these incidents is gun control. How about I tell you this? 183 kids died in Illinois last year on average, so could have been more last.
Watching a moment like this unfold live is more than just entertainment. It's a real-time illustration of the kind of debates that dominate public opinion today. And let's be honest, these clashes aren't isolated incidents. They reflect deeper societal tensions, especially around issues like crime and gun control, which are among the most emotional and polarizing topics in America. It's no surprise, these debates touch directly on people's lives, safety, and freedoms. So, what do these heated on-air exchanges really mean for national dialogue? In many ways, they act as mirrors of our divisions, highlighting just how far apart Americans are on some of the most pressing issues. Even after the cameras stopped rolling, this particular confrontation spilled out into conversations across social media, offices, and living rooms nationwide. The bigger question is, do debates like these genuinely help people understand the issues better, or do they just fuel more division? That might be something for you to decide. If we step back and look at the Tarlov-Gutfeld exchange, one thing becomes clear. Moments like this expose the persuasive power of media personalities and how much sway they hold over public perception. They reveal the sharp contrast between quick, tension-grabbing soundbites and the deeper, long-term policy conversations that often get overshadowed. So what's your take? Do these fiery debates bring us closer to finding solutions, or do they simply underscore how divided we've become? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your perspectives add real value to this dialogue and make these discussions even richer.